But Allah speaks something more about war between the oppressor and the oppressed. And now we do some legal, analogical thinking. Because, you know, I don't use the terms about Taliban and so on. I refer to the Islamic resistance in Afghanistan, and I refer to the Islamic resistance in the Holy Land. But I don't use these terms. I don't know where they came from. And if the Islamic resistance is at war, and the Islamic resistance commit excesses, and now you hear the thunder roaring from all over Europe and the United States and Canada and so on. Look at what they did, look at what they did. Why don't you condemn them? They are beasts, they are animals, all of these things. Now let's go to the Quran. This is absolute truth in the Quran. If you don't accept the Quran to be the word of the one God, then one day in your grave, the Lord God who created you from a drop of sperm, you're going to have to answer to him in the grave, because it is the word of the one God, whether you like it or you don't. And so what does the Quran say on this subject, to continue, of war between the oppressed and the oppressor, and excesses committed by those who are oppressed? Was it Surah An-Nisa? Yes, Surah An-Nisa. And Allah speaks about foul language, about nasty language, about harsh language, about language which is unethical. And he says, لا يحب الله الجهر بالسوء إلا من ظلم. Allah does not approve of foul language. He does not approve of obscene language. He does not approve of such excesses in language which are morally wrong, except for those who are wrong, who are against whom injustice is committed and who are oppressed. إِلَّا مَنْ ظُلِمَ. So if the oppressed are excused excesses in language, and Allah forgives them because they are treated unjustly. They are subjected to injustice and oppression. Similarly, we use analogical reasoning for the law of war, that if the oppressed commit excesses when responding to war which is being waged upon them, which is what is now happening in the Holy Land, then you don't seek to impose any equivalence between the two. Donald Trump, get lost. You do not impose any equivalence between the oppressed and the oppressor at all. Not because Allah is with the oppressed, but modern Western civilization is a godless, pagan civilization. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in any judgment day. They don't believe that they'll have to stand before the Lord God to be judged and judged. They don't even believe in sin. I'm warning you who they are. The barbarian civilization. They're not believers in the one God, not modern Westerns, those who control power. And so we reject this notion of any equivalence between the oppressed and the oppressor, that they must be judged by the same standard of weight in their conduct in war. Because using analogical reasoning, the Quran speaks and says that Allah can forgive the excesses of those who use even foul language, bad language, when they are oppressed. Similarly, in war, if war is being waged upon them, and they commit excesses, they can be excused And so get away with your language. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.